ATK and his thing. TKG, what is good with y'all? Man, listen. If y'all had watched yesterday's video, which I implore you do if you're new to this channel, by the way, y'all had seen that we were talking about the 20 worst albums of 2020. Now, you already know how I rock on this channel. We may get negative, but we try to end on a positive note. And with 2020 being probably the most negative year in recent memory, it's best for us all. Isn't within our all best interest to leave this year in, some sort of good light. So, of course, unlike the artists from yesterday, these are 20 artists that had albums that left a positive, lasting impression on me or impressed me this year. You'll be surprised to see who's on this list, man. Let's get right on into it. Kicking off this list at number 20, we have Conway the Machine's From a King to a God. And Roddy Ricch, I'm cheating a little bit with his album because it came out in 2019, but it really started to gain traction in 2020. So, I say it's eligible for this list, just by a tad bit. It's Roddy Ricch's Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. Now, look, Conway the Machine. I haven't talked too much about Conway the Machine, and crazy enough, not a lot of other people have either. Man, the old school flow really does dividends for some artists. Some artists should just never change up their style. I wish Lil Wayne wouldn't try to pander to a newer audience with the way he raps now. Conway the Machine, I don't know if he's from the 90s or what. I haven't really delved that deep into this guy's career, but I listened to this album. I had to find out if this was one of the best albums of the year because I had seen there were so many people giving this album so much praise. And there were people telling me, oh, have you ever listened to Conway the Machine? Oh, have you've listened to him when you listen to Benny the Butcher? And so I said, you know what? People keep recommending me this guy. So let me just, let me give him a quick little, little ear right fast. And I was not disappointed whatsoever. This guy, even being old school, still killed every fucking track and mostly every track on here. There are little to no skips on this album, I gotta say. Conway the Machine made a big fan out of me with just one project. So I'm definitely going to go back and listen to the rest of his albums. But no, just based off of this one, I can already tell I'm not going to be too disappointed with what I'm going to hear. And of course, we got Roddy Ricch. Now, Roddy Ricch, to me, was the MVP of 2020, early on. And, he didn't win too many awards for, his performances, his songs, anything like that. But the guy winds up leaving 2020 with 2 number 1 hits. Now, that's a W. I don't know what anyone else will tell you about Roddy Ricch, but to me, that's a big, big, big W, especially for someone his age. But I listened to Roddy Ricch, okay, for the first time ever, and I listened to this album. Now, I only really heard about Roddy Ricch because of Nipsey Hussle. And so I said, you know what? This guy comes from Nipsey Hussle. This guy's a product of Nipsey. So let me see if Nipsey has left us with some legends, some future legends. And you know what? I 100% believe that Roddy Ricch is going to go down as a Hall of Famer, as a legend, as a GOAT in this game. It's a lot of singer, rap, little NBA Youngboy type of songs. And yeah, I'm not, it's not a frowned upon style to me. It sounds a little crazy when NBA Youngboy does it because he adds so much extra emotion. But Roddy Ricch has just the right amount of, soul in there. So I gotta say, personally, hey, if you've not listened or gave Roddy Ricch a chance yet, you have to, man. At this point, if you're not giving him a chance, you're gonna wind up getting tired of this guy if you wind up not liking him because he's gonna be on the radio for years to come. So, I'm very impressed with Roddy Ricch. I thought he'd just be another one of those, I got a diamond bezel, you know what I'm saying? Look at my chain, I just made him sound more country than rap, but y'all know what I mean, man. So, hey, we kicking this list off the best way possible. Next up at number 18, we have Benny the Butcher's Burden of Proof. And at 17, we have R.A. the Rugged Man's All My Heroes Are Dead. Now, listen, dude, we got 2 more old school guys. Benny the Butcher is so aggressive with his songs, and I just love the energy he brings to every track. I actually wound up listening to this on Twitch, which I implore you go follow if you want to see my album reviews. of any artist dropping new albums. I might do older albums, but yeah, we listen to albums over there. We have a lot of, fun. So, of course, Benny the Butcher, man. I gotta say, man, I never listened to him up until all my subscribers were telling me to go check out this album. Because I really was supposed to listen to Pegasus, and I wound up listening to that on my own time. And again, spoiler if you haven't watched my video from yesterday, but Pegasus is on my worst albums list, so good that I didn't listen to that long ass album on stream. But Burden of Proof I wound up listening to, and it wound up boring me at the end, but that wasn't Benny the Butcher's fault. That was really just my personal mood. So anyone that remembers me turning that album off, it really was just, how I was feeling at the moment. So I wound up listening to it again when I was in a better mood and I was, wanting to listen to music. And again, this guy left me with the same impression that I had when I first listened to it. Absolutely dumbfounded and just absolutely impressed and shocked that a guy can bring an old school flow to the table and still murder tracks. I'm looking forward to more Benny the Butcher, man. I hear that he's one of the best lyricists in the game. So, I definitely lean a little more towards lyricism and, storytelling, songs rather than, I'm not taking shots at Playboy Cardi. That just is the best depiction of lit rap I have. So next up we have R.A. the Rugged Man. And what did I just say? Man, the old school guys really killed it this year. Like 2020 should have been the year that they were going extinct, but they wound up really taking over for the most part. Like R.A. the Rugged Man is a guy who was really killing shit in the 90s and in the early 2000s. And, he really should not be so big in 2020. Like, that's crazy to me. But I wound up listening to this album thinking, you know what, this guy's probably just hanging on to some novelty from his older days. But, yeah, he kind of switched it up and he kind of was doing new shit. And he kept his old, fast rapping style. R.A. the Rugged Man has been one of the most underrated rappers for years. If this is the first time you're hearing about R.A. the Rugged Man, it definitely should not be the last. Please go check out this man's music. You will find out what the staple of rap truly is. I know some people get a little irritated when, you listen to some fast rappers. So some people think that fast rap is overrated because, it's like, oh, well, we can't understand what you're saying. Like, if we can go back and look at the lyrics, it sounds like you're really saying flippity, dippity, hippity, sippity, fippity, mimmity, and shit like that. And it doesn't wind up seeming so impressive when you actually look at the lyrics, but listen, R.A. the Rugged Man is not that type of guy. When he's rapping fast, he's saying some shit like, I'm ripping and hitting the stick and I'm getting the lick from your bitch and she looks like she's about to, I can't even do it. I can't even do what he does, man. That's just a product. That's just an example of how great he is. Like, us commoners cannot match that intensity. So check him out. He's definitely got some nostalgic flows on there, some newer style flows on there. And, I wound up realizing how great of an artist he really was after this album. Definitely super underappreciated. Next up at number 16, we have Nas's King's Disease. And at 15, we have, shockingly, Big Sean's Detroit 2. Now, with Nas, if I can refer back to one of my earlier statements about Lil Wayne, Nas is a guy who did not abandon his old style, didn't try to sell out to a newer audience, kept doing his thing, and clearly that works. A guy like Lil Wayne has abandoned what made Lil Wayne, and he started selling out and making songs with XXXTentacion and shit like that. And there's nothing wrong with that because Nas made a song with Lil Nas X, but the thing is about that is Nas has never abandoned what made Nas Nas. Nas has always been one of in my personal opinion, the greatest pure rapper of all time, the greatest lyricist in the game. And he's always kept that mantle. He's always proved to us why he's not to be fucked with. And you never see anyone try to challenge Nas, and for good reason, because Jay-Z could tell you better than anybody that guy can fucking make or break you. So I gotta say, personally, Nas is a guy who's gonna enter 2021 literally the same way he entered the 2010s. A fucking legend. And I mean, it doesn't matter if he's making an EP, he's making a short, little 2-song, whatever it is. Nas is going to always have one of the best albums of the year, to me personally. Now, next up we have Detroit 2. Now, I said on Amir's podcast, which I implore you go listen to, again, if you're new here, go and listen to that. We talked about how Big Sean wasn't a legend. Now, of course, by the time of recording that, I had not really cared too much to listen to Detroit 2. And if I said I listened to it, I fibbed. I capped like a motherfucker. But I've listened to the entire album recently, and I gotta say, I'm impressed. This is by far Big Sean's best album, in my personal opinion. I like the Finally Famous was a dud, and then everything else. It was there. It was almost up there. And personally, I think it was either mid or it was good. Nothing great. But if I had to say that Big Sean had anything great in his discography, I say Detroit 2 comes close to that territory, or even in that territory. He's got Nipsey Hussle, tracks on here. It's just, give it a listen, and you can tell Big Sean has finally started to mature. He's finally just started to, I know he's been taking rap seriously, but you can hear that it's redemption for him. It's time for people to start putting his name in the top 10s. It's time for people to start recognizing how great he is. So I'm definitely started to take notice of Big Sean, and for sure, yeah, one of the best albums. At number 14, we have Don Toliver's Heaven or Hell. And at number 13, we have Meet the Woo 2 by the late and great Pop Smoke. Now, I gotta say, if there was a rookie of the year for rap, Don Toliver's gotta be a strong consideration. He really started to strike out on his own after, his standout on Travis Scott's Astro World. And ever since people started to be like, oh man, like who you know what I'm saying? Who this over here? He's really started to etch his name and keep himself relevant. There hasn't been any, ignorant storylines to keep him afloat. There hasn't been any beefs that had to happen for Don Toliver to be who he is. Don Toliver has really kept his name up because of just sheer talent. Heaven or Hell is the perfect example of that. And the reason why it ranks so high, the reason why it's 14 and other albums that you guys would say is better is a little lower is because of the fact that Don Toliver, before 2019, I literally didn't care for. Like, I literally was looking at people talk about him. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. And I was expecting him to fail. And I was expecting his album to just tank and no one to care about this guy. But then I listened to it. From the first track to the last track, I started to realize what the hell Don Toliver was. I started to realize who he is, the singing, the rapping, the sheer just versatility. I can hear the influence, and Don Toliver is not a guy who's going to make ignorant ass tracks for publicity. And I could tell he's not going to get in beefs or anything like that to earn your attention. No, it's not that case. And I love artists like that. And so due to the simple fact that he is that type of guy, that I can expect him to just be an artist and not be a clown for our entertainment, that is the sole reason why he ranks so high. So I want to say thank you to Don Toliver first off, because finally we have a guy who doesn't have to fucking show his dick out to everybody and say, hey, well, measure that, And if you know what that statement means, then okay. And if you don't, then I just sounded real gay, and to that I say pause. Now we're talking about Meet the Woo 2. First things first, rest in peace to Pop Smoke. Really sucks that he died the way he did. But he left us with some very, very good music. Like, before he died, this was his finished album. This was the one that he did himself. Meet the Woo 2 definitely was what put him on the map, was what had everybody paying attention to Pop Smoke. Finally, he started to get media exposure. People were starting to make memes about him. Nicki Minaj made a remix with him. Pop Smoke was out there. He definitely was becoming one of the most recognizable artists. And now in 2020, I gotta say, it's just a little bit of fake love, but granted, I am a part of that. So I cannot sit up here and criticize everybody for, said moves. But Pop Smoke, for sure, with his little New York drill style, I gotta say, it is wonderful. I can't say too much about Pop Smoke, really, because I'm going to be talking about him again, spoiler. But listen to Meet the Woo 2 to get a glimpse of what old Pop Smoke is like. I'm going to talk about new Pop Smoke a little later, so stay tuned. At number 12, we have Pop Smoke's Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. And at number 11, we have Man on the Moon. So I guess from Pop Smoke's album, when you aim for the moon, you're really aiming at Kid Cudi. So how ironic how they're both literally side by side. I swear that this was not me trying to make a pun. It was just how it happened. So I gotta say, Pop Smoke's posthumous album is absolutely wonderful. The reason why I have it lower and not in the top 10 like most people have it is because of due to the fact that it has kind of no replay value to me. I really listened to it at first just because, it just came out. I wound up not listening to it again, as much as I'm supposed to, because, I gotta say, I don't truly like listening to dead artists too much because it kind of bums me out how I won't get any more music from them. So it's like, I try not to it's kind of messed up, but it's just a personal thing I have. So on Meet the Woo 2, you got old Pop Smoke. You got Pop Smoke, hardcore Pop Smoke. On Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, you literally have new Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke that you were going to get for the foreseeable future. And I got to say, dare I say, new Pop Smoke sounded better than old Pop Smoke. And he for sure was going to be one of the superstars of the game. So I gotta say, this album really shocked me. But then we go to Man on the Moon 3. Now, Kid Cudi is a guy who fails to, disappoint. He's always gonna impress me. He's always gonna have one of the best sounds in the music industry to me. Not just the rap game, but the music industry. Kid Cudi, in my personal opinion, is a guy who does not get enough of his flowers. Like, this album, there were some very beautiful tracks on here. There were a few skips, I'm not gonna lie to you, but there were just as many good tracks as there were bad tracks, and that is the reason why so many songs got on that worst list yesterday. More skips than bad than good tracks, So I gotta say, man, a personal favorite of mine, of course, would be Man on the Moon 3, the song. And it's so beautiful. It's so many beautiful tracks here. Like, Kid Cudi is literally not one of the only, but one of the other rappers that can get me to cry. I'm not gonna front with you. The man is a tearjerker. Pause if that sounded gay, but with that being said, man, you gotta go listen to the album to understand what I'm talking about. Just sit there alone and just sit in the dark or something and listen to the album. That sounded real emo, but of course, you know what I'm trying to say. Introducing us to the top 10 is Eminem with Music to Be Murdered By, the first part. And number 9, we have Lil Baby's My Turn. Now, I'm going to talk about both of these albums at the same time. So, it's going to be fairly fast. But both of these albums are literally they're both albums that most people will have at number 1 or number 1 and 2, respectfully. Or probably number 1 and number 5 or whatever. They're both in the top 5 to a lot of people. Lil Baby has improved, yet Eminem has regressed. And yet Eminem's regression is still better than most people's fucking greatest album. So I gotta say, I'm impressed with the fact that Eminem has finally started to just say, fuck it, I'm a rapper. I'm one of the greatest rappers in the game. He's accepted his status and now he's just having fun with his craft. And I can hear it as a longtime Eminem fan that he's finally just having fun with his music. And then we have Lil Baby, he's taking his craft seriously. He's starting to etch his name in the alums of the greats. And I gotta say, I was a Lil Baby detractor in 2019, 2018. And honestly, I apologize for that because I didn't really give Lil Baby a fair chance because, come on, his fucking name's Lil Baby. And he was that Yes Indeed Drake song I didn't really care for. So now with Lil Baby kind of being the face of rap recently, like it really seems like he is the face of rap in 2020. Like, he is the best rapper. I personally believe, as opposed as the mainstream rap, Lil Baby is probably the best rapper that 2020 has seen. And I look forward to seeing more from him, and I look forward to seeing more from Eminem as well. And I hope they both kind of retain this level of energy. Like Lil Wayne. Wow, I keep on talking about him. Eminem can keep having fun with his albums or his music, period. And then Lil Baby can take it even more seriously and go even higher than this, because if they can both keep doing what they're doing, shit, rap is a better place, man. This was a good year for music just because of these two alone. Just because of the yin yang that we have here. And number 8, we have Eternal Take by Lil Uzi Vert. And at number 7, by the way, did I say that right? A take, not a fucking attack. Can you guys stop like dragging me under the bus for that? Mind you, I mean, it's a fucking stupid name for an album, man. Like you can't fault me for that. A take, like what the fuck is that? Like if I look up a take, what am I gonna see? But well, I mean, clearly this album. But number 7, we have Amine's Limbo. Now, Eternal Take, man, this was 2 years worth the wait. We got some very lit vibes. We got some we got some sad vibes, some chill vibes. We got every damn expected vibe from a Uzi, from a Uzi project. Honestly, I wanted Whole Lotta Red to kind of match the aesthetic of this album because they both really had the similar amount of weights. Uzi had 2 years in the making for his album, and Cardi also had 2 years in the making for his album, and yet I gotta say, Uzi clearly put in time for his album. I didn't hear Cardi put in time for his album. It didn't sound like he put in time for his album. It didn't. It sounded like he had, he said, you know what, I'm not with Iggy anymore. I can focus on my life. All right, boom. I'm about to fucking do a Whole Lotta Red. I've been doing it the whole time, everybody. Like, here we go. So this is 2 years waiting done the right way. Uzi, and it had a gimmick to it. It's a little alien invasion gimmick and shit like that. So, Uzi is always going to be one of the most like hype lit guys. And if you listen to him for what he is, then yeah, that's exactly the feeling that you will get. And then we go to Amine's Limbo album. And that's an album that doesn't necessarily have a gimmick. It doesn't need a gimmick per se. It is what it was what it was. And it was just really good music. I mean, there were, there were a few skips, and I mean like 1 or 2 skips. But the rest of the album was wonderful, in my personal opinion. I gotta say, it was nice. There was a bunch of chill vibes. There were a few lit vibes. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I didn't really expect that from Amine. But the consensus during this album was I was just gonna be relaxed and just listen to the lyricism of Amine. And when I finally got to just listen to him as a rapper, he really comes off as a unique rapper. He really comes off as a guy who you can't copy. And if that's the only vibe that you get from Limbo, hey, if I'm missing out on the true vibes, y'all gotta tell me, man. Because look, this album here was a big shocker, and that's why it sits at 7. And number 6, we have Armani Caesar's The Liz, and at number 5, we have Mac Miller's Circle. Now, if y'all haven't heard of Liz Caesar, don't beat yourself up because you've probably been paying attention to Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B instead. So I don't blame you. But Armani Caesar is a woman that was getting all this praise for having this good album, for having this really nice album. And then I listened to it and I'm like, you know what? I mean, I just look at how she looks. I can already tell she's going to be talking about if that nigga don't pay my bills, then I'm going to have to hit him with the pills and I'm going to have to steal his money. Oh, Cardi B style. Oh, yeah, it's been a while. Like some shit like that, right? I listened and I was so shocked. I said, she looks so good and she's not talking about pussy. She's not talking about her ass. None of that. This girl was talking about some real shit. I'm like, bruh, like, where did they make her at? And why the fuck wasn't Cardi B nor Megan Thee Stallion in the same, and you know what I'm saying? Made in that same factory. Like, bruh, this girl can fucking spit the right way. So I said, you know what? Yeah, I gotta listen to this entire album. I did. I was not fucking upset. I wasn't disappointed. There was no skips. This was one of the legitimate best albums of the year for me. And this is really where we get to the point where there is no skips. little to no skips, like one skip. Because, I mean, yeah, there was one song there that I couldn't listen to. I mean, really, there's always going to be at least one song on every project that you can't listen to. But Armani, dead ass, is one of the best female rappers you haven't heard of yet. Definitely, please. I need y'all to go listen to her music, man. She's a fucking amazing. And then we got Mac Miller with The Circle. And I gotta say, with 100% certainty, that I can't talk about Mac Miller too long for some reason. It's personal, guys. I mean, it's every time I think of this dude, Mac Miller's Circle. Look, it has no skips for me. It has none. Like, I can listen to this entire album over and over, but sadly, I'm unable to really listen to Mac Miller as much as I can anymore, just due to the fact that the dude just makes me fucking tear up every time I think of Mac. So I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. And sorry, but y'all should know Mac Miller just is talented as fuck. That's all I can say. At number 4, we have Savage Mode by 21 Savage. And at number 3, we have Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs. Now, look, in 2016 or 2017, I can't lie to you, I probably would not have been talking about neither of these niggas. Like, really. Like, especially 21 Savage. Like, he was just so fucking ridiculous sounding to me. Like, the whole shy ass, I'm about to kill a nigga. I got a gun. I got a 21 bullets. Yeah. But, it's like, nah, bro. I was just so annoyed with how quiet he was. But here we are, 2020, and 21 Savage has improved so fucking quick, so fast. If y'all hear my dogs in the background, by the way, I apologize. These motherfuckers literally, it has to be one time a video. Like, it has to be. I'm sorry, okay? I might go savage mode on them later. And I have 2 dogs, so I might go savage mode on, let me just stop for it while I'm ahead. But Savage Mode 2 is a very surprising listen because we get a mix of old 21 Savage and we get a mix of the new and improved 21 Savage. I got a fucking chill 21 Savage song, I couldn't fucking believe it. I'm like, bruh, what? Am I listening to relax? I mean, well, he's usually always relaxed, but we usually get thug relaxed. Like, he was just relaxed and just, chill and just a vibe. I couldn't fucking believe it. It literally has like no skips to me, like a whole fucking album I enjoyed, So shout out to 21 Savage. He's definitely one of my favorite artists of the year. And then we have Alfredo. We have Freddie Gibbs' Alfredo. Now look, this album is literally running for a fucking Grammy. I don't have to tell you how good it is. But I am anyways, because what's the point of this video, right? So, Alfredo, no skips, whole fucking album good. What more is there to say? If you've been sleeping on Freddie Gibbs, you've been sleeping under a fucking rock at this point. And if he wins a Grammy for best rap album, you're literally like, there's literally gonna be people talking about some, damn, who the fuck is this guy? And they're gonna have to fucking, like, bruh, they're gonna have to. You're gonna have to listen to him at that point. Freddie Gibbs is this thug, chill, aesthetic type of guy. So, I mean, if you want, what I'm saying? It's like listening to fucking DMX on like LSD or something like that. I don't know. That's the best. That's the best analogy I've got. But this album, this entire album, it's nothing ignorant on it. It's nothing super lit. Like, what I'm saying? Just sit, crack open a soda, I guess, if you're me. Sit and just fucking enjoy, man. And just listen to the fucking beauty that Freddie Gibbs is spewing into your ears. No homo. Like, seriously, no homo. That sounded so gay. Actually, you know what? We're just gonna go to the last 2 songs because I'm really getting cringy right now, aren't I? And to end off this video, my 2 personal favorite albums of this year, the 2 albums I think are the best, are Niagara by Redveil at number 2, and the best album of the year for me is Unlocked by Denzel Curry. Now, Redveil, you probably haven't heard of this kid. You have to listen to him before I even say anything. Pause this video, go listen to him, come back. When you hear what I'm about to say, then yeah, you'll understand. He's so Tyler-esque. He's so Earl-esque. He's so, you know what I'm saying? He's so relaxing and chill and unproblematic. And that's exactly what we need out of rappers. Just because he's not talking about killing motherfuckers and selling on the block doesn't mean that he's even better. But I mean, yeah, kinda. I gotta say, with 100% certainty that Redveil is going to come into 2021 as somebody who is going to be recognized simply due to the fact that he's so unrecognized. If you know what that means, then yeah. It's kind of like how Denzel Curry was for a second, how people were sleeping on him so much that he was actually super recognized. So, what more can I say about Redveil? He has the ability to rap. He's super fucking relaxing. As you see, I kind of gravitate more to lyricism and storytelling and you know, chill vibes and stuff like that, because it's easier to listen to an album or any music like that, where you don't have to focus on, you know, hey, I got a lot, I got a bag, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. And again, I'm sorry if I sound like Playboy Cardi. I'm sorry, but Redveil definitely is going to come into 2021 literally one of the best rappers in, you know, one of the best rappers in the game that you don't know. And then lastly, we have Denzel Curry's Unlocked. This is the definition of what a great album is. This is the definition. He made this album super short, and yet he made it super fucking good, to the fact where I want to listen to all these tracks over and over again. It is exactly what you want from an album, because I don't want to go back and listen to an entire album and the whole fucking album is like 2 hours long like Pegasus. You know, Unlocked is dead ass like 17 minutes long. And it's enough tracks on there to where you can, like, you know what I'm saying, you can go back and enjoy it over and over again. One of my favorite songs of the year is Cosmic. And it's just, Kenny Beats really was the cherry on top for this album. The fucking beats were absolutely wondrous. Like the old style beats with Denzel Curry's aggressive flow and his, you know, his versatility. It was just a wonder. It literally, again, the entire album is a fucking, all of them are good. There's no bad songs on here for me. None at all. The theme on here on this album was the album got leaked. And I like the music videos for this album. Definitely, if you want to listen to this entire album, you should probably go and watch all the music videos. Because, you know, yeah, that's going to make the album a lot better because of the storyline tied to it. But if you want to just listen to it, the audio and stuff like that, it's still a banger. It's still literally one of the best albums of the year. Everyone has said that this is one of the best albums of the year, or the best album, or one of the best albums. And I gotta say, I've agreed with them before it was even time to agree. Like, as soon as Denzel dropped this shit, I listened. And I'm telling you, after this video, guess what I'm gonna listen to? Some Denzel Curry. So, ending 2020, the best album that I have listened to has been Unlocked by Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats. Congratulations, Denzel. Once again, you lyrical, spiritual, miracle genius. You've once again impressed me. Orgasm in my ears, you know. Thank you. Again, that sounded gay too. Let me just fucking stop. And there you guys have it. 20 of the absolute best that 2020 has to offer. Now, 2020 has been a neutral year for music, rap in particular. I had a lot of honorable mentions for my worst video. And to be fair, I had tons of considerations for the best. Like I missed a lot of bests. And definitely go in the comment section below, get vocal, and say what I didn't put on here. If you have something that I should have had on here, definitely tell me. Because I know that there was some I missed. There was a lot that should have been on here. And to be fair, the ones that you may list, I may not have listened to. It's not that the artist is bad or anything. It's just the simple fact that I just didn't hear it. So whatever you guys say down there, I definitely will hit you guys up and see. Or you can hit me up on my social medias, which will be in the description box below, my Instagram, my Twitter. Go ahead and follow the Twitch if you want to, follow TKG, listen to albums with us. You know what I'm saying? We get real lit in there, we get real critical. It's funny for the most part because of the bad albums I have to listen to, like Good News and a Whole Lotta Red. So, of course, you already know what time it is, man. If you love this video, if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the post notifications, because you already know what time it is, man. We are bangered up for 2021. We are ready to take over the new year coming up. We're going to make it extra positive, man. Of course, y'all already know what it is. TKG vibe. Have a good time. And I am All the Culture. I will see y'all later, man. Peace.
Coming in. Yeah. Flex. I just want to win. Yeah.